ओके सो वेलकम बैक टू अ ब्रांड न्यू वीडियो। तो आज हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं स्टेट फ्लो, ठीक है। सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न द स्टेट फ्लो इन द मैटलैब। सो व्हाट इज स्टेट फ्लो? स्टेट फ्लो इज अ टाइप ऑफ concept in all electronic components not components, devices, like if you know the discrete signal which has a different value at different instant of time, like that every electronic device has its own characteristic which can change according to time. Like if we take an example of a rocket, you can easily see that whenever rocket go upward by using the thrust, the mass of rocket change at different instant of time. Means because of the burning fuel, the mass decreases. So according to that, the rocket has to calculate that how much amount of fuel it has to burn to make that condition. Condition means, suppose if the condition is that the output, that is the thrust, is always has to be greater than the escape velocity, but here the mass is changing. So at different time, means at different point of a time, rocket has to calculate the thrust and adjust the burning of fuel. Okay, so like that, this whole system or this whole logic is known as a state flow. So there are two types of states, which is Mealy and Moore, and by combining these two state we have a classic state. Okay, state machine. Yes, the perfect term for this is state machine. And to design this state machine in a simulink, where you have to make your own device, but for that you need a state machine. So you can't easily make a state machine just by soldering some components. So to solve the error, means to reduce the margin of error, we use MATLAB, as you know. So in MATLAB, how can you design the state machine? You can design a state machine in MATLAB in a chart. Okay, and that also you can design in this simulink. So first of all, you have to open the simulink from the MATLAB. So first you have to open the MATLAB. After that, you have to go to the home and then open simulink, and in that you have to open create blank or whatever. You can also have the pre-made state machines chart in the MATLAB. For example, there are different types of example of state machine already posted by some engineers, not some, many engineers. So you can use that chart and learn. But if you have to make your own, then you have to select blank. Okay, after that, how can we edit the chart or create the chart? So first you have to double click on this workspace, this empty workspace of the simulink. This empty workspace of the simulink, you have to double click, left click. Okay, double click means left click, so the quick instant menu will be opened. In that you have to write the chart. You can see here there are two charts, but for now, for beginner level, you have to select chart. And if you want to go to the professional level and learn the professional level of state flow in the MATLAB, then you have to learn about the discrete event chart. For that you have to learn about the discrete signals, and this is different types of system, that is dynamic, which has a random event, and etc. Okay, so for beginners level, you have to just click on the chart. Now you can see the chart is shown up. It has no input and no output because we just created a chart. We doesn't feed a logic in this chart. Now we can access to the chart by double clicking on the chart. Here you can see there is an empty workspace. So now we have to select the state. So first of all, I will tell you what is Moore and Mealy machine. Okay, so this is the chart, and by clicking on this column which is known as a state, you can just select the state and you can name the state. So let's say I name this state as the A. Okay, and just control C and control V, you can have one more state. So, and I will name it as B. Okay, A1 is also fine, but I will name it as a B. Now what we have to do, we have to just click on this, and now you can see this arrow is known as transition. Okay, and now I can write an action in this. Action. Okay, so this is called as a melee machine. In this, what is happening is after the flow switch from A state to B state or the B state to A state, the action will only take place in the state block itself. It will not take place in the transition. What is transition? This arrow is a transition. When flow move from A state to B state, that process, or you can say that event, is known as a transition. Okay, and what is this? This is called as an entry function. We will discuss about this later. But for now, you can see that in melee machine the action will take on the state itself, state block itself. Now, what is smooth? Opposite of it, which is this. By double clicking on the transition and selecting the curly brackets and okay, action. So now in Moore machine you can perform action in the transition only. You cannot perform the action in the state block itself. Okay, so in transition there are two types of things you can do. First, you can add a condition, or you can add an action, or you can add both action or condition. So for action you have to use the curly brackets, and for the condition you have to use this is square bracket. Inside this, if you write any condition and it's true, then the flow will move from state A to state B, and at that point the action will take place. Okay, now what is classic? So basically classic is combination of melee and Moore machine. Okay, in classic you can do action, sorry, the machine can do action in both transition and the state block. So this is the simple term of melee, Moore and classic state machine. Now we will learn about some components of state block. Okay, I already discussed the components of transition, that is action. Here will be a condition, or if you want to add a name, you can use this, like we can name this as A to B, and then click enter. You can see now the above one is the name. By just adding a percentage sign you can name a transition, and by clicking enter after the name, the condition action will be work respectively. Okay, so just you can drag the conditions and put it as per your convenience also. Now let's let us discuss about the components of the state block. So what is state block? I already mentioned you. The state block is something like a state is like house. Okay, state block is like a house. Now the first component in a state block is entry. So whenever you enter in the house, so that event is known as entry. Okay, that means if a functions, this is a function, will come in this state A, means house A, enter in a house A, you can add action like if function comes in state A, then x equals to 1. Okay, this is defined, and always use this colon to avoid errors. Sometimes it give error and sometimes it's not, but to avoid the error you have to use the colon. Okay, now next components is during. Okay, during, you can also increase the size of state by just dragging it. Okay, now during, what is meant by during? So suppose if a state is just like a house, then you enter in a house, that is event, sorry, that is entry component, Now during is a component, so we have to just what can you say, if you need analogy of a during, so it's just like, suppose if some guest comes in your house and then they're starting to watch movie, so during is that component. Okay, watching movies or eating in the kitchen, whatever action they are performing in the house is known as during. So let's say x equals to x plus 1 if function is in the a state, and obviously colon, after that the exits component. Okay, so whenever the function exit from the state A to state B, this action will be performed. That is, the value of x that is calculated when the function enter and during the function flow in the system, during the flow of function in the state, that all calculation means it's just like a memory. Okay, so the calculation of that all will be stored in y variable. When the function will exit the state A, so these are some components, or you can say these are the only components that are used in the state. Beside this, there are three more components that are bind, on event, on message. So we will discuss about this later, because I cannot explain you right now what are these components, because for this you have to know about the parent and child state. So let's write the name of the second state, that is B. So now you can see there are two states. Okay, so these states are parent states. Now what is parent state? So suppose if I use this, sorry, these are parent state. Let's make a child state in a B state. Okay, so I just took this, I'll write the name C, and we have to delete this. So now B is a parent state, A is also a parent state, but C is a child state, because the flow will first come to, sorry, the function will first come to B, then inside B it will go to the state C. That's why. So I think this is all you have to know about the basic of the state. Now we will move toward the if-else functions and temporal logic. What is temporal logic? So if you have to delay some conditions or action while transition of the function, then you have to use temporal logic. Like if I have to delay the condition, okay, if I have to delay the condition for 3 seconds, or I have to delay the action for 3 seconds, so I will write the condition like this. Sorry, not condition, temporal logic like this. After bracket, and I will write how much delay I want. Like suppose I have to delay it for 7 seconds, so I will write 7 and comma second. So now you can see what will happen, that the function from A to B will transit after 7 seconds. That's all. So these are the temporal logic. You can use after, you can use before, okay, according to your need or according to your project. Okay, Now we have to know about the if else condition. So first of all, you have to know that the state flow is different and the flow chart is different. Okay, in flow chart there is no memory based operation take place, but in this there can be a memory based operation take place if you added a condition during. You can see here every time the function in the a state enter, and for suppose it's has a delay of 7 seconds, that means the function will be in state a for 7 seconds. So at each second the value of x will be incremented by 1. So on exit the value of x should be uh, x equals to 1 8. Okay, x equals to 8, so the value of x should be 8 at exit, and y equals to 8 plus 3, that is 11. So you can see here the memory is used, but in the flow chart no memory is used. Okay, so what is a flow chart, I will tell you. So first of all, this whole workplace is a chart. So I will just remove this. Now what is a flow? If you have to make a flow chart, I will just give you the explanation about flow chart like tip of the iceberg. Okay, so this is called as a junction. Okay, this is a junction and this is a flow. So what will happen, you can see the function will come from this at junction. Now at junction what will happen, first I have to make it. Okay, so here you can also see these are the transition, of course. Okay, I guess this is not perfect. Yes, now it is perfect. Yeah. Okay, so this is I think perfect for right now. So you can see the function will come from this point to the junction. After that the junction will calculate that if the condition is satisfied then the flow will be like this. Okay, and if the function comes to junction and the condition is not satisfied, then the function will go toward the this direction. So this is from this you can make your own flow chart. Flow chart is just consist of transitions and junction, but the flow state flow is consist of states, transition and junction. So I just explained you the junction. Now I will show you how you can add the if else statement in your state machine. For that you have to just go to the modeling in pattern, and you can see there are various type of decision pattern, that is if else, if elif, various type of patterns. Okay, so I will use if. After that a small window will be pop up where you can write the description of your if else condition. So I will write a condition x has to be equals to 3 and action y equals to x plus 4. So you can see here our if else condition is built up. Function will come from a to this junction. After that it will see if the condition is satisfied like this, the action this will be take place and it will go to the end, and if condition is not satisfied, then it will directly go to the end. Okay, so this is if else condition. So you can just add here state, because instead of using this transition you can add a state, means you can add a state block in this, and you can customize the state block according to your project, and that's how you can add if else condition in your state block. So I think this is let's check that I if okay, so we have covered the component added in the state block. Okay, we have covered the temporal logic, we have covered the types of charts, we also have covered the junctions. Now if you have to learn more about this, then you can go to this channel, that is MATLAB Tech, and here is a full customized playlist for you, consists of 47 videos in which you can learn all the basics of state flow. And also in this you have to build two projects, like first one is traffic control system, and second one is vacuum robot. So you can add that project in your resume for your LinkedIn or LinkedIn or career.com and another platforms. So I have covered this 3 video in my today's live stream. Now I will learn and make video of every 3 video, so you can summarize it. But if you want to learn in detail, then you have to go to this channel, and thanks to this channel that I can also learn MATLAB Stateflow very easily, because in MATLAB Academy, academic course that I have done, I didn't understand a various concept, but yes, you also have to do the MATWork course of Stateflow on RAM, then you will understand the software itself, because you have to learn or understand what are these different types of icons and what are the different work for different blocks that you have selected. From that you can have some experience, and then you can learn from MATLAB Tech, so it will be clear the confusion that you have. Okay, so I think in next video I will cover the function, that is graphical function and MATLAB function. But for today I think it is enough, so let's meet. I think it will take 2 or 3 days for me to understand the next 3 video of the state flow, because as you go deeper and deeper in this playlist video, it will become more hard and hard to understand. So that's all for today. Let's meet again.